Anybody want to take a little bit of break, which I'm sure Tulsi wouldn't approve of, but I think everyone should be allowed that privilege. There's a reason why I sit at the back, actually. It often allows us to escape very unnoticed out of sessions that are in the graveyard shift of after lunch. But the reason that I'm actually also sitting here is that when I read the theme, The Future is Now, I remembered a man who is almost revered in Delhi. His name is Mirza Asifatullah Khan Ghalib. And he said, "Mat pooch ke kya haal hai mera tere piche. Mat pooch ke kya haal hai mera tere piche. Ye dekh ke kya rang hai tera mere aage." And I think that's a question that we are looking at constantly when we are re-evaluating how we look at the future. How is it that we see the nation? How are we taking it ahead? And it is with that that I have the privilege of introducing Sangeeta Menon Malhan. Ma'am, can we have you here in front, please? There are a lot of things that can be said about Sangeeta, but perhaps she introduced herself best when she came to me, and she said that she is basically identifiable with her greed for life. There are a lot of other things that you will read about her, mostly because she writes extensively, but she does a lot of things. She is a polyglot. She can speak languages. I believe she's given a star on her hand to life because she learned Spanish in 6 weeks. I can't speak any language other than English and a smattering of Hindi. And I absolutely have to appreciate that she told me enough number of languages that I couldn't count on my fingertips. So I'll not even get into that. What is also impressive is that she believes that the energy of the universe allows her to do everything that she ever wants to do, from riding a bike. Again, I've never done that. I don't wish to do that. Or she has a commercial pilot's license, a private pilot's license. She's written books. And she has an idea on how she thinks that she is going to shape the future, which is now, because the future for her as well as all of us as we are looking at the theme for today is about the fact that we have to take this forward, and there is a debate, there's a churn. Every churn is good, and I think I'll hand it over to you from here to enlighten the house, wherever you choose.
I'll stand here. It is on. Now it is on. Good afternoon. I'm very happy to be here, and I'd like to thank the organizers, the CII, for including me in this event, having me on this platform. I see this as an opportunity, as a responsibility, and I intend to fulfill my duty. I intend to do this next 30, 45 minutes justice. A very interesting time now for India, isn't it? We are all talking about kaun aa raha hai, kya hone wala hai. People are talking of development. People are talking of eradicating corruption. People are still talking of welfare, good. They must realize that over the course of the next 5 years, they will be put to test. We are watching them, and the world is watching us. So this is a good time to engage, to think about India. This is the right time to do something. Sometimes, when I look around myself, I see a bit of sometimes, a dystopian sort of society where everything seems to be in a collapse, in a decay, falling into an abyss, going away to a point of no return. But that's one way of looking at it. I am an optimist. It's not just the Indian in me. Indians are normally like sometimes fatalistic. Theek hai, theek ho jayega, it will all be well. But that is not where I'm coming from. I have a genuine aggressive optimism that things will change. Now, but I'm concerned. And I'm primarily here, not as a writer. More than as a writer, I'm here as a citizen, as a woman, and as a professional living in today's India, who is worried, who is concerned about her country. Why is it that even after so many years of independence, a reasonably educated, skilled professional, a woman in this country, is worried about her country? I believe some of the things where we should have been far ahead, those things haven't happened. I ask questions. We all ask questions. My basic questions are, do I have my basic rights? Do I have my fundamental rights in India? Am I free to really speak? Am I free to express myself, to communicate, to be who I am, and to move about? Do I have basic amenities? Do I have basic welfare? And do I have safety, security, law enforcement, and justice in this country? On many counts, the state seems to have failed, and it's a welfare state. Now, I don't like discussing problems without bringing solutions from my point of view, because what's the point of discussing solutions and not offering a solution? That's just rhetoric. So I won't do that. I will identify, I mean, I have an idea of what I think the problems in this country are, and then there is a solution. I basically got to do a lot of reading and understanding this country while I was working on a book, and this is what I'm going to share with you. I think our first problem, of course, is education. In spite of all the efforts, whatever has been put in, so many villages in this country, we really don't have education, real education. And in most cases, in many cases, the corporate sector has had to step in and partner with local, NGOs working at the grassroots level and try to supplement the needs of the region. I don't know whether we are taking this as seriously as we should be. And I don't mean education in a very narrow curriculum kind of sense. I mean an education that helps you evolve, that helps us evolve, that opens our thinking, our mind, brings in multiple influences, many perspectives, makes us want to do things, makes us curious, that brings that gene, innovation, creativity, intervention, that sort of education. Now, I was an assistant editor with a B2B magazine in 2007-8, and I was handling about 14, 16 pages on corporate social responsibility. We were following apparel companies and export houses who were doing work in India on the ground. And that's how I saw a lot of things, particularly in the villages of Rajasthan, in Alwar, where people were struggling with education, kids were struggling with education. So I think in spite of all the lip service and all the effort, more needs to be done, I believe, on the education front. And each one of us can contribute. In my journey so far, wherever I've had an opportunity to share what I know, I was lucky, I'm educated. I share that with whoever I can, whether it's children in the neighborhood or children in the local government school, or even while talking casually to teenagers, you try and share something with them. Now, I teach French also for fun, because I learned the language and I thought I must use it, I must share it. Yesterday, my 10th standard students came from their last class. And, because they've been studying with me for so long, and tomorrow is going to be yesterday was their last French class, today is their exam. And they got these cards and everything, saying thank you. And the theme running through everything was, thank you for inspiring us, thank you for helping us dream, helping us think that we can achieve. This is what I learned. This is what I learned from my parents, from my teachers, that if you can share something, share some knowledge, it's never redundant, it's never futile. So my first point is, let's contribute to education. Everybody needs to be involved here. Number two, it's unbelievable, it is shocking that half the workforce in this country is unempowered, unskilled, largely, underutilized. I'm obviously talking of women. Why is it that there hasn't been a concerted effort, again, to build the profile of the woman of India? Right from the fact, first she needs to be born. She shouldn't be killed. Then she struggles with her education. She needs to have employable skills. It's not cheap labor that we're looking for. we need women to be employable at the highest level. And then she needs to get a fantastic job and remain working, remain productive, and thus contribute to this great machine, which is India. All of us need to contribute to keeping the machine running. And women should have been co-opted long ago. And that, again, doesn't seem to be happening. Now, it's not as if the state doesn't have the resources. I sometimes feel that the state really is just paying lip service. When do you hear stories about women? On 8th March, International Women's Day. Durga, Kali, Saraswati, then, it is played up. But the rest of the year, I don't know if we are taking that part seriously. So, I believe that the state must genuinely try and empower women and remain in that chain right from the beginning till the end. When the rest of the workforce can be involved and be productive throughout life, why is it that women shouldn't do this? They shouldn't fall off the radar after some time. So measures to bring and involve and retain women and train them. Training and skill is most important. The knowledge base, building that. My third point, which is considered a very nebulous, kind of esoteric, soft skills, which I don't understand, is character. When incidents of crime or terrorism happen, we talk about mindset change. Society mein mindset change hona chahiye. We should change the mindset of the people, the thinking. How is it going to happen if there is no concerted effort, regular onslaught to change the mindset of the people, if we don't try and influence other people? When I was young, and my father was a huge influence in my life, he was also a journalist like I was. And he gave us a lot of wealth. The wealth was our value system. He taught us the importance of courage, integrity, honesty, conviction, perseverance, hard work, determination. Above all, decency, ethics, decency, and the genuine will to change something, to do something. My father, when I was young, told me, be anything you want to be and be everything you want to be. Just go out and do it. I remember calling him one day from somewhere and telling him, there's a notice in the college, come join the NCC, National Cadet Corps, and I think I'll join. He said, go ahead, do it. So while I was studying political science in college, I joined the NCC. I took an exam. I was trained to be a glider pilot. I flew here during the Republic Day celebrations at the Prime Minister's rally, and then went on to become a private pilot. It's because he said, go ahead and do it. And then after some time, I said, oh, I'm joining journalism. He said, acha, never an impediment. Go ahead, do it. And then I said, I'm giving up my job at the Times of India, and I'm writing a book. Well, he wasn't happy. But he said, okay, you're taking a sabbatical, trying a book, go ahead, do it. That was what I got, along with the rest of the values. While we consider this to be, iski baare mein kyun discussion karna? I believe that developing or changing the character of a nation, of its people, matters. After all, a nation is known by the characteristics of its people. When we go out of India, how are we treated? This should be, that should be the litmus test. And my son, what will I leave as a legacy for him? Will I leave him an India that he's going to be ashamed of? Or will I leave him an India that he's going to be proud of? He's 16 now. And he says, sometimes we're a terrible people. That's a 16-year-old's reaction. So I believe the focus on education, genuine intervention, the co-opting of women into the system, whichever way, all of us together, we are all stakeholders. We need to do this together. And developing character. We think it doesn't matter, but it does. I'll have a sip of water. Now, when you meet someone, irrespective of how impressive they are, you will discuss the decency or the human quotient. कि वो सब तो ठीक है, पर वो एक बहुत decent, अच्छा बंदा है. No, I do have some water here. But thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. So I believe the focus should remain on becoming a decent, modern, progressive people. And we can't do it, just here. We need to get out and do this. And because I am fundamentally an action-oriented, problem-solving, solution-searching kind of person, I have devised, I have a proposal. And I've been working on it recently. Now, I believe, and I call it the I-1. The I stands for India, the I stands for I, and the I stands for intervention. I intervene for India in 1 square kilometer. It's the 1 square kilometer intervention. My belief is, and that's what I will do, and you can join me when you're convinced, I believe if each one of us can adopt just 1 square kilometer in the country, any region, whatever makes you comfortable, just adopt 1 square kilometer anywhere in the country, get out, find out what its problems are, take one problem up that you are passionately, that you want to resolve passionately. Without the passion, without the drive, without the madness, things will not get done. You have to be crazy about doing something. Get after it. Take 1 hour every Sunday or every fortnight. Take one target for a year and try to resolve it. Just 1 hour a fortnight and one target in 1 square kilometer. This is my request. If we need to intervene, if we need to do something for India, we can't wait for the other person to do everything. We too must do something. Now, when you go into that area and you find out too many problems, today we have the resources, we have the channels to protest. We can create the noise on the social media. We can demand for performance. There are too many ills, of course. There are too many ills, but it doesn't mean that things are impossible. Although, we do carry that baggage. We carry the baggage of things are catastrophic. And things will get even worse if we don't react. So my proposal is the 1 square kilometer intervention. You don't necessarily have to plunge into manual work on day 1. Go and find out what's happening. Even if you're just talking to people in that area, just talking to people, checking out, saying, yahan kya problems hain? Acha, yahan raat ko, is it safe for a woman to go by? Is this a safe place for business? Anything, if you are talking, if you are engaged, you become a stakeholder in the nation building process. You don't have to sit and wait for, tragedy to strike you. You can avert it before that. Now, for me personally, the safety, the dignity of women in this country has always been very important. If I am standing here in front of you and talking, it is because of the strength that my father and everybody who is invested in me has put this strength into me. I was educated, I was taught courage. My father used to send me out. I was in Madurai. I'm talking of this incident, it's in Tamil Nadu, when I was maybe 9 or 10. And my sister was she's 2 years younger than I. And my father would suddenly at 8 p.m. say, go to that corner shop and pick up something for me, get me something. And I would wonder, why is he asking me? He's got, enough people to do this. But he would insist, just go there and get this for me. And if somebody bothers your sister or bothers you, beat them up. This is what he was trying to teach me. He was trying to teach courage in his own way. And I have used that later in life. I have beaten people up in Delhi. In Tamil Nadu, people didn't do anything. They were kind and decent. But in Delhi, there are enough, hooligans, and they have been beaten up. They've been dragged to police stations. In fact, I've had a filmy fist fight during an assembly election, while covering an assembly election in Delhi, in a bus. I got into a bus, somebody got in after me. He was drunk. Elections were on and I was covering them. Elections were done. I think counting was on. Yeah, and I was moving from constituency to constituency, center to counting center to counting center. I got in and this guy, held me by my calf. Calf is safe, but why would you touch? You shouldn't. And he was drunk. He got into the bus. I got into the bus. The minute he kind of came in, I gave him patak one. He was so drunk, he gave me one. So, and then I gave him another one. And we are fighting, a real filmy fight. And people in the bus are not bothered. Aage dekh rahe hain. Finally, there was enough noise. We were falling here, there, piche in the bus. Awaaz aa rahi, dishum, dishum. Then people turned around. And then I told them, this bus will go to the Thana now. This will go to the police station. Nobody will get off this bus. And the bus went to the Connaught Place police station. And that guy, usko wahan pakad liya gaya. Wahan rakh liya gaya. I don't know what happened to him. This is what I learned. I learned that you must engage, you must be courageous, you must do something. So this is a mindset. This is an approach that my father gave me. This is my strength. So I've been able to do a couple of things in life. I've been able to take those risks. So wo risk, and also, that ambition ki kuch karna hai. After all, yaar, ek life hai. Abhi nahi karenge to kab karenge? In this life, I am Sangeeta Menon. Abhi next life hai, rebirth hai, kaun janta hai? If I want to do something, I have to do it now. Anybody wanting to do anything, you can't let it just simmer in your head. Then the idea is futile. It dies. If you want something to happen around you, take that first step. Points are given for the attempt, for trying to do something, for making the effort. You may or may not get far ahead in 1 year. It may take you 2 years to achieve your targets. But efforts are what count. So I will soon halt, I will wind up. But I believe that the time has come to move, to get up and do something. And not just hope and wait. Hamare yahan, I think hum log, again to use the same word, we have the baggage of hope. बहुत ज़्यादा हम hope करते रहते हैं. आप सोचो आप hope पे कितना strain डाल रहे हो. आशा सोचती होगी कि भाई मेरे ऊपर इतना strain. Hope is burdened because we are laying all our cards are on her table. Hope must be thinking, my God, India, how will I handle her? So we partner with hope. We tell hope, आप आधे रास्ते आइए, आधे रास्ते हम action करेंगे. We will do some action. That is when things happen. And I do believe that we are standing at a very pivotal kind of, in a pivotal space. Whatever has to change for this country will change now. Because we've heard enough rhetoric. There's been enough talk of development. Now it has to happen. So go ahead, do something, and make your mark. Try. In spite of my discomfort, I am angry. Just like all of us, sometimes I'm angry. I see a lot of akrosh, frustration, disgust, contempt, everything that's terrible. In spite of the discomfort that I have with my environment and sometimes with my countrymen, I feel like, what is wrong with these people, yeah? मैं और ये, क्या हमारा एक ही खून है? Are we from the same land? Like people, particularly the indecency, stampedes, throwing up metal, breaking those metal detectors, pouncing on one poor woman and raping her in a bus. What is this? Are we these sort of Indians? And a lot of other issues that I'm not touching today because my focus really is on education, changing the mindset, empowering women. I'm not even going into the economy or the growth that a lot of other experts must have spoken of that. I am trying to tackle a very deep-rooted malaise, a deep-rooted ill within us. हमारे country में एक वो percentage है जिसकी वजह से ये देश चल रहा है. लेकिन जो percentage इस देश को impede करता है, impediments जो खड़े करता है, उसके खिलाफ हमें लड़ना है. We can only do it if we make the move, ना? Even if like पानी मुझे पीना है तो act तो मुझे ही करना पड़ेगा ना? Unless somebody comes me and douses me on Rajpath, वो पानी अलग है. So that is my request to all of you, because you are leaders, managers, you are going to invest yourself in changing the future of this country. And this is what I am sharing with you. Now, in spite of all the discomfort, I believe in India. I believe that when it comes to it, when push comes to shove, there can be a change. The Jan Lokpal, I think, was a catalyst, that movement. It really brought up, everything got thrown up. All the latent angst, जो हम अपने drawing rooms में, जो अपने दोस्तों के साथ, in the privacy, हम जो बात करते हैं कि ये क्या होगा इस देश का, हमें ही कुछ करना पड़ेगा ना? We'll have to do it. And hopefully we'll have good leadership. Now suddenly we've thrown up enough leaders, some not impressive, some impressive, some with good credentials, others will have to prove themselves. So this is a good time to engage, to get out, partner with people, do it, collective. I am going to launch my intervention 1 square kilometer on 14th April next month. I just wrote a plan for myself. I'm just doing it for the task, for the beauty of the task itself, because that's what matters. It's not for X or Y agenda. I'm just doing it for the beauty of the act itself. I'm going to launch it on 14th April because I'm part Malayali, part Sikh. So in honor of the people who created me and who gave me my value system and my strength, my parents, my father's from Kerala, born on the 14th of April, it's the Malayali New Year. My mother is from Punjab, Baisakhi, 13th April. So on the cusp of 13-14, on 14th April, I'm going to launch this, and I've taken up, symbolically, I've taken up 1 square kilometer in Munirka, where the 16 December 2012 incident took place, from where she boarded that bus. That is a very tough area to handle. Well, I'm making a politically incorrect statement, but I've never been known not to. So it's a very down market area, very congested, but I want to ensure that in 1 year, by 14th April 2015, I am able to make Munirka a safe zone. When I say safe, I should be able to, or any woman, any person in this country should be able to walk through Munirka at midnight and nothing untoward should happen there. It should be... Merci. Kya baat? Kya baat? And it should be safe for business. You should be able to do your business properly in Munirka. It should be a clean, decent place. Some of us Indians are uncomfortable with other Indians, if you have noticed. हम लोग खुद कहते हैं ये कैसे लोग हैं. I don't want that. And because Munirka is where these incidents, that incident happened, that shook, finally, thank God, shook the collective consciousness of this nation. I have been struggling with this. This has been simmering in my head since I was 11. 11 years old. Tab se I've been worried about why women are treated like this in my country. Why? And finally, the entire nation spoke up after that incident. So my promise to myself, I'm doing it for me and for the little girls who will walk in Munirka henceforth. I don't want another girl to suffer what that girl went through. I don't want any girl to be afraid of walking in my own country. I cannot pick up my bike and travel from Kashmir to Kanyakumari in my own country. What kind of freedom is this? So to change that, I have taken up Munirka. I will soon be creating a page on Facebook. Anybody who wants to do anything, go ahead and do it. But please do something. Finally, I will still say, because I believe it's possible, I'm still going to say, Jai Ho to this country. May there be victory, yaar. May there be victory. There is nothing better than victory, isn't it? We all want to win in various degrees, various ways. Jeetna zaruri hai. We have to win. And there has to be that aggression to win in a very noble sense. And I will of course say Jai Hind. In spite of all the trouble that we are carrying, that India is carrying on her shoulders, I believe that India can be greater. So go ahead, join me whenever you can. I will be creating that space, and maybe slowly and gradually it will come to you. So Jai Hind, Jai Ho, and thank you so much for your patience. I will halt now.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for first summing up the three basic issues that are faced by us, both in terms of education, in terms of empowerment of the better or the worse half, as the case may be, and also the power of the paucity of resources that have been employed in. I'd actually like to now throw the house open for questions in case anyone has, since she has discussed her idea about how she hopes to bring about a change in the 1 square kilometer. It's a very doable idea. And would anybody like to come up with any further questions for ma'am?
People are all...
Yes, please.
I prefer to stand.
Not all, please.
And the reason why we are all going to do it is because we're all born to mothers. We have sisters in the house. We have wives. We have kids, and we have daughters too.
I'm sorry. Come again.
The reason why we are going to do it because we are born to mothers. We have sisters in the house. We have wives and daughters too.
No, it's up to you.
It's a safer society for everybody together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's for your own benefit. It's for the benefit of someone you care for.
So if my neighbor is on if my neighborhood is on fire, the next fire is going to be in my house.
Yeah, of course. So go ahead and do it.
So that's what I'm saying.
So you're with me?
Absolutely.
Bravo. Great. Wonderful. Obviously, yaar, if we don't खुद नहीं कुछ करेंगे तो कोई और थोड़ी करता रहेगा हमारे लिए हमेशा. We can't forever. Indians have, sometimes we are lazy. कोई और कर लेगा. The poor guy is struggling. We're like, और क्यों नहीं किया? We are. I think we have that complacency gene in us.
No, not all Indians are lazy.
All Indians की तो कभी भी बात नहीं कर सकते. We can't generalize. We are a very strange, contrarian kind of country.
There you go.
We are a very paradoxical people.
There you go.
Hypocritical and hospitable at the same time.
And worldly.
आप हमारे घर जरूर आइए चाय पे, पर इस संडे नहीं. हाँ. Next week देखेंगे. I will call you. अरे यार मैं वहाँ बैंगलोर जाना पड़ेगा मुझे. We are like that. We, as a people, we are very, very strange. But good people, I think.
We are leaders in NASA. We are leaders in Silicon Valley. At the same time, we don't, clean our own house. So talking about paradox.
True, indeed, it is true. Indeed, we are a contrarian nation. And I don't think we do it deliberately. I don't think it's a deliberate thing. I think it's just a survival instinct. Yeah, you do things that are convenient to you. Beyond that, you don't want to engage. But now we can't afford to do that. Abhi बैठे रहेंगे तो someday the problem will land up at our doorstep. Then we will react. उससे पहले ही क्यों नहीं करते? Prevention is better than cure. Yes?
Ma'am, I would like to ask you, you have going for One India, One Vision, that 1 kilometer in Murarka that you're planning to take up. What exactly are the steps that you're intending to? You want to achieve safety and security for women. What would be the steps you have in mind?
Yeah.
If somebody else wants to join you somewhere else, what should be the basic checklist of events that you think that this is necessary for making it a sound environment?
Thank you for asking me, which means I have gone through, I've made sense to you. That's what matters. It shouldn't be, something undoable. There's no such word in the English language. But first, the research work, the muaina, the recce, Even when we go into combat, when we did shooting in the NCC, the recce is the most important thing. Just identify an area that you are comfortable with. मेरे घर के पास है, मेरे workplace के पास है. That particular area looks, you know, challenging. A challenge should be a beautiful thing. Go there, do the recce, talk to people, find out what the problems are. Some areas will be totally unclean. Some areas will be very poorly lit. Somewhere crime will be on the rise. Somewhere there will be, I don't know, land encroachment. You take up an area that you are concerned with. Otherwise, you put together a research document, send it to me. I will share it with someone whose skills are to handle a particular thing. We all have different skills, different skill sets. Some people can collect information, some people can act on a certain, you know, point.
How would be my role different from the corporator who's assigned for that ward any which ways?
Well, he is not doing his job, and it is our duty to tell him that he has abdicated responsibility. The local MLA and later the member of parliament, these are the guys who are supposed to be doing their jobs. Do you think if they were doing their jobs properly, we would be in this mess in this country?
Right. We have time for one more final question. I think
So obviously, it's their job. We are having to supplement them because they have failed. Yeah?
Thank you. Since I'm from Chennai, I have to say thank you for such a high regard of Tamil Nadu. But I'm actually, and you know, I fully agree with you, and we definitely, to support Aditi, we'll want to do something in VIA in our chapters. But I'm just trying to understand one thing, and I think it's been thrown up in a couple of other areas. Given the fact that you spoke so highly of Tamil Nadu and that you were never threatened as a woman.
At that point,
At that
Abhi,
point.
I don't know.
This
This is when I was
I can
10,
promise
11.
you.
Let me go back
Okay.
and walk at 8 p.m. and see what happens.
Now, I can promise you, I think Chennai will still be a reasonably safe city.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
It is.
I don't want to endorse it. But incidentally, we have the highest number of dowry harassment cases in Tamil Nadu, in the country.
Yeah, yeah.
And we also have the highest number of false dowry harassment cases in the country. This is a fact. It's a
Must be.
statistic. The only thing I'm asking is, and I'm not for a minute trying to take away the attention from safety of women. But I'm just asking, would it make a better impact if there are simultaneous efforts from both sides to say that, listen, while women's safety is extremely important, a woman exploiting a loophole or a law like a anti-dowry harassment case is equally damaging to the country.
Absolutely. When I talk of decency, we should be a decent, ethical people. This is the real, our heritage. This should be our heritage. If we are a decent people, the DNA should be decency. Progress, being modern, being ethical, that value is what I'm talking of. When you have the value system in you, then you behave as a decent people. Anything that is wrong should be condemned. These kind of cases also, if the woman is at fault, she's at fault. Isme gender ka kya baat hai? Why should her gender support her? It's a human issue then. No, I can't hear you.
Sorry. My concern is that women's safety is highlighted at forums, right?
Yeah.
So assuming this question is not asked, all the men go away. I mean, everybody wants women's safety. There's no two ways about it. But I'm just saying what happens is the whole thing is skewed. So nobody's actually trying to understand the other side. The more educated probably understand that.
Let's talk of men's safety also.
No, maybe not today for sure.
A lot of men are poor guys harassed. I will talk of a male ka safety also.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. Like I said, it's a people thing. It's a human thing. You know, if a man, I don't want a man to suffer either. Why should a man get sodomized or harassed after he marries the woman he loved? Ek zamane mein. That wo bhi nahi hona chahiye. It is about justice, really. It is about justice. That's all. Justice, you know, की कोशिश करनी चाहिए. Injustice को सहना नहीं चाहिए.
Ma'am, if you start talking of men's safety, my husband would say that you open a Pandora's box because
ये खोलते हैं.
married men will be rooting for it.
Go ahead, yaar, do it. Bring it out. So much is already out in the open, including Article 377. अभी और क्या बचा है? Bring out everything. I think this is, the time to resolve everything. They should be used. confused. This is a fantastic year. This is a fantastic year. So much is happening. Everybody is talking about किसको जितवा रहे हैं, कौन आ रहा है, किसको वोट दे रहे हैं. You know, so this is a great year to engage. If you go out in that one square kilometer, you have an easy talking point. You don't have to be threatening to those people. You walk in, you buy, I don't know, anything, or you do not buy. You engage with someone and say, क्या यहाँ का क्या माहौल है, क्या खबर है, हवा किसकी चल रही है. That's all you need to start a conversation. And धीरे धीरे the problems will come out. And then you partner with everybody. You partner with the local NGO. There must be an NGO working in that region. The local legislator, whatever the role, failing, succeeding, catch him, write against him on the social media. Now we have that platform. Make the noise. We achieved a lot of things because we made noise in the recent past, and we have to keep trying. It's not a one-shot game. एक बार कोशिश किया, नहीं हुआ, हाँ चलो पानी वानी पिया और चल पड़े. नहीं. We have to persist. I think we forget persistence. We have to wind up. Remember Swami Vivekananda, who said, take up an idea and follow it through. I think he made a brilliant point. I think the time has come. And this is perhaps his centenary year. Was it 13, 14? Is his centenary year. I think these are the kind of people we should hail. Anyway, thank you so much. Go out and do something, yeah?
Right. Thank you so much, Sangeeta, on that. I just